So yes, refinement is not a step back, it is a shift forward, and you have to stop beating yourself up about it. The reality is part of the content that we are putting out and why it may feel hard is because you're not doing it from a place of alignment. Right? It's not in alignment with you, with how you operate, with how you want to be showing up, and with what you really want to be saying. Now, maybe what you're saying, like deep down inside, the message from your heart is there, but the way that you're delivering it or feel like you have to go perform it is the issue. When you think about like an artist, right? So like I think about plays, right? Like on Broadway, they're showing up what 2 to 3 times, like at least 5 to 7 times a week, if not every single day of the week. So they are performing a early show, a midday show, an evening show over and over and over. That takes a toll on your heart, your spirit, your voice, literally, like saying the same thing over all the things. And so I think about that in business. I've been in business for 10 years at the time of this record, well, over 10 years. And so 365 days, that's what, 3,650 days, right? And so multiply that by whatever time, amount of time you've been in business, right? And so if you are feeling like you are performing, that means that you are that actress putting on that Broadway play for that many days. 3,000 some days, I just said. No wonder if it's not reflecting your current voice, that current season, your current capacity, that is really the sign that you are out of alignment. You're performing, you feel like you have to prove, you feel like you have to please, right? And so all of that living, there's been shedding, evolving, expanding that's been happening in that time. So there's no way that the message that your audience, right, that your voice is the same. Your method isn't the same. There are so many elements that need to be refined. It's required. There's no other way. So instead of you having this shame about refinement, what if you understood that it was the most beautiful part of the process? There's new learnings, there's new lessons, there's new stories, there's new blessings, right? That refinement gives you that. I've been talking about in our Realign Story series, wisdom. You get wisdom from that. So one, comment below live with Kiara if you want to know about my next live event, because we're going to be going deeper on these things. So if you want to spend a couple of days with me where we're going deeper on the strategy, the sanity, and the structure, then comment, that so I can give you the details on when the next event is. So let's go ahead and talk about refining. All right. Listen, if you have been showing up in your business, but feeling drained by the content machine, this video is your permission slip. Go ahead and keep watching. If you have been burnt out from content, wondering how to elevate your content to get more clients without exhausting yourself, right? If you want to balance more of your content creation and your clients, I want to go into some of the shifts that I am making to really refine my content strategy and really just my approach. And I want this to help you continue to scale your sales, right, with content and getting more clients without sacrificing your sanity. So I have been creating content for, oh my goodness, over 10 years, content that specifically sells high, ticket offers anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000. But the way that I've made my last $500,000, we are making it completely different. I have been in a season of refinement, not reinvention, not to be confused. And I feel like you are too. I am a business owner who creates content online that contributes to selling my high ticket services, right? Like I said, I've been doing that for over 10 years. And this is also for low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. I just tend to specialize in mid high ticket. Okay. And so when I really sat down to look at how I made my last $500,000, I did a video on that. You can go watch it, right? It was really me being in this space of looking at this season of my life, sustainability, right? I need more time to recharge and rest. I need more self-care. I just came from getting my nails done, right? And not just having time for my clients and my team, but really being present to other areas of my life. And actually thinking about it, Mike, the other day, he said, babe, do you know we're at the halfway point of 70? And I was like, okay, why are you telling me that? Okay. So I am 35 at the time of this recording. So as I get closer and closer to the age of 40, my energy hits different. I'm looking at my time different. I used to never need a nap. And now I like a little 15-minute little lay down. Okay. And most of my clients are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. I've had clients who are older as well. And then I've had clients who are younger, and I love them all. But basically, I just see us all as women stepping into spaces where we need to reevaluate the way that we are approaching our content if it's draining us. And I saw this question inside of a Facebook group as well. And, I was asking the woman, hey, does your content already convert or not? Because there are two different strategies that you want to use. But if you do have content that helps you, get your clients and sell your offers and whatnot, right? And you don't want to lose yourself though, right? As you work with these algorithms and all of these expectations people have around content, I really sat down and thought about this in 3 categories. 1 is sanity, right? Your sanity. 2 is structure. And 3 is really strategy. So in this video, I'm going to talk more about the foundation, right? So really that sanity part, because what I have come to realize in a decade of doing this, working with over 2,000 women around the world and doing this as well, you can't hold the structure and the strategy, not sustainably, okay, if you don't have the sanity part down. And so it's going to require us to do that. But if you want to see more resources and videos, I can link them. Let me know if you want more on the structure strategy, and I will link those things for you. Okay. Now, before we move forward, I need you to know, as I state different things here in this video, you're going to have to keep what feels right for you and toss the rest. Okay. Some of y'all, the real issue is that you are sitting there comparing yourself nonstop to how everybody does their content and their content workflow. This is something I talk about all the time in Money in the Message. You are going to have to give yourself permission to honor what way you do things and like work with yourself. So I have a video about comparing your content that you need to watch if you have something like that going on. But what I don't want you to do is be sitting here in this video thinking, well, every single thing that Kiara says, I'm going to take it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to, use it. No, you need to take what feels right for you, what feels in alignment with you, and you need to merge it into the things that you already know work for you and make it work better. Okay. This is the whole, point of refinement. And this is what I really feel has a lot of, business owners in this space where you're just sitting there. And I'm going to say we, right? Because I felt myself in that space. I felt myself after, the first, 5 to 7 years, I felt myself in this space of like, okay, so I have to do things this way and it has to look like this. You had already had this whole way that had worked. Why are you trying to sit here and change things? And as I then really owned this refinement error, okay, because it's a movement, it's a vibe, it's the energy. And I really want to remind you of that as well before we go into this video, because there's going to be some things I say, they're not going to be a fit for you. They may never be a fit for you, right? Or they may not be a fit for you today, but at least take the thing, one thing, the two things, the three things that are a fit and leverage them and work with them, run with them, use them, all the things. Okay, sis? All right. Glad we had that conversation. Matter of fact, I need you to own this refinement era like it's the worldwide tour of the century. At the time of this recording, Beyonce's in the middle of Cowboy Carter, okay? And before this, she had Renaissance. When Beyonce puts on a tour, we're going to even put Taylor Swift in there because they both do this really well. They're creating total movements. Like, people be, like, sitting there like, what outfit are you wearing? It's a whole essence. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole embodiment, okay? People want to dress the part. They want to be the part. They are embodying it, okay? And I want you to be in that space with your refinement era. Like, it's a movement. Because right now, you carrying shame about your refining is one of the problems, because you think that you did something wrong. You think that you're not worthy of being there. Whatever you did before that was really successful, and maybe it's like not as fast or whatever is happening, you're like, oh, that was a fluke. That was just luck, as if it's not available for you again, as if it can't happen, when the truth is it can be even better. Okay. That has you in this space where you're not seeing that it can be so much better, that you couldn't sustain it the way that you were doing it before. It wasn't meant for you in the way that you were doing it before. Right. And so you needed whatever you needed from that period to learn. You need to refine. You need to assess, amplify so that you can accelerate. And so you can get it better. You can get it bigger. You can have it easier. You can go deeper, right? So if you ever think about that analogy, of God wanting to give us a bigger, bear, right? But we want to hold on to this little tiny bear. And it's like, no, I have a bigger blessing for you, but you're trying to hold on to the little blessing. Stop holding on to what used to be, because it's not anymore. It's a part of what you needed for this next phase, for this next season. All right. I promise you it can get better. I promise you. And I wish that I would have sat with that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but I'm telling you, on the other side, the refinement is where it's at, sis. Okay. And it is going to be required for this next level. You're going to have to shift into it. So we can't talk about just creating balance and eliminating burnout if we don't talk about, well, where is the burnout coming from in the first place? That's why I wanted to bring in that conversation around comparison, but also what's the source, right? You're going to have to come to terms with, you are enough. Stop letting a story be, I'm not available for this because of whatever happened. Because sometimes you're going to have full capacity, and sometimes you're going to have full ability. Sometimes it's going to be 50%. And sometimes it's going to be other percentages. You need to be prepared for both. Be prepared for the seasons when, I'm full on in my content. And then be prepared for, I don't have it. I got cramps. I'm not feeling well. My child needs this. My whatever else is going on in life, right? Things are shifting in the family. elderly parents, grandparents, people, a death, right? For me, losing my grandmother a year ago, there are so many things that happen that we can't sit there and prepare for. So some of the content, yeah, let's go ahead and prepare for it. But some of it, right, let's go ahead and be prepared, right? That it is going to be something that we're going to have different types of like energy for, and therefore different angles of how we need to approach it. Be prepared for both sides, maybe even three. Okay, I like to say three. Be prepared for like when you're fully ready to show up. Be prepared for when you're halfway, like you only getting half of me, only got half today. And be prepared when it's like, I ain't got much. What are we going to repurpose? Which I'm dropping a strategy right now. What are we going to repurpose? What can we recycle? What's tried and true? All the things. Okay. So I wish I could sit and go through with that. I could keep going and going, but this is something that I've learned, at the time of this recording, inside of Money in the Message, my inner circle, we are going through a scaling story series. Like we are literally breaking through different scaling stories that are coming up for the members. It was inspired by one of our members who literally went from having a team of 8 people on her team to having a team of 2, and the judgment that you may have upon yourself. So maybe you had to go lighter on your team, right? But one thing that we found was that, listen, you might think that there's some, I needed to do it for this reason and that reason. What we found was that there were a couple of team members that were not necessary on her team. So honestly, it wasn't, there's a money shift. No, it was I got smarter with my money. Why am I investing in these particular roles when we can combine them? These people can do this. We don't even need that. Nothing has hurt in the business with us not having that particular role. So there's so many strategic moves that can be made when you're refining. But if you're in a space of complete shame with it, you will not get the stories that you need to get. You will not get the lessons that you need to get if you are not allowing yourself to be the boss who says, okay, wait a minute. Why is this happening for me? What am I meant to get here? What is presenting itself? So girl, can you just own that you're just getting fine like wine and just be okay with that? Side note, if you want to know when my next live event is, like my next virtual live event, comment live with Kiara and we will get you details for the next live event where I'm going to be going deeper into not just the sanity parts, but the actual structure and strategy behind making more money from your message and your content and doing it in a way that doesn't bring you out. So let's talk about refining, right? When you're in the spaces of 6 figures, you want to do your content in a way that doesn't burn you out, that allows you to have more sustainability with your visibility. So let go of the pressure to perform. If you feel like you always have to be on in your content, that's going to be an issue. If you are a member of Money in the Message, go see where I talk. There's resources we have about documenting content instead of feeling like you are creating content, right? So here's the thing, like when you think about like, how do you want to do your content? Like how really do you want to do your content in this next season? For me, I want to show up. I want to embody it. I just want to express. I want to come from the nail salon and I have a message that was on my heart while I was sitting there, and I want to just come and drop it in this video right here. And I know and trust that it's going to hit and it's going to reach and it's going to do what it needs to do, right? And so I really think that the problem, right, is us not sitting down and going into, well, what's one of the ways, or however many ways, right? But like, here's how I've been doing my content and what still feels right within that. But then are there other ways that I want to try? Are there other things that I want to test out? Are there other things that I want to like add into this? So there's tried and true. There's new things that I want to test out and experiment with, right? But really at the core, am I honoring the way that I operate? I wake up and I have ideas. I don't know who, where, what, when, how. I just know God, I just wake up and they be there. Okay. And really, I was talking to some of my biz besties and I was telling them how like I will drop notes in Boxer, right? So there will be times in the morning where like I literally was making a B-roll with this as well. I was like in my backyard, I was taking my dogs out. I was sitting there. I was just Voxering my clients back, right? So between like Voxering my clients or like Voxering my biz besties in the morning or whatever it is, like, or journaling or just like maybe like batching some content, free writing, like I just wake up and they're there. I remember a period where I felt like I had to do my content in a certain way and I was forcing myself to be a batcher. I was forcing myself like, oh my God, when you're over on YouTube, like that's how you have to do it, right? When you are wanting to transition your lifestyle as far as like motherhood and things like that, you have to be a batcher. And I was forcing myself to be so super, super, super planned out. And I thought that's what made me strategic. And it was like, but I can't keep up with this. Like, this doesn't vibe with me all the way. What we have actually been adopting in my company, right, with my team, it's actually looking at our focus time or focus content, but then also our free flow, right? So like, there's content where, in another way to think about it is like, here's my really intentional content where we intentionally scheduled it, batched it, created it, whatever it is, right? And then here's my like intuitive content where it's like, I just left the nail salon and I just want to go and talk about this thing or whatever that is, right? And then really both of them get to exist. If you have followed me, right, for a decade, then you know, you should know. And a lot of people actually don't. A lot of people say, Kira, all of your stuff feels like you planned it out. And I tell people, do you know a majority of my business was actually run from true intuitive content? But I want to talk about something that I had in place that allowed for the intuitive content to make sense, right? To work, to actually convert, to the point where we have a content guide, right? Where I think there's like 25 to 30 different content prompts. And I literally made at least $300,000 from those prompts. Those were all intuitive prompts. And to this day, I still use them every single month. My clients get a version of them. This month right here, we put out some banger ones. They were so dang on good. Oh, they be so good. I'd be like, literally, well, oh my goodness. Sorry, I got really excited because I was recording them the other day for this next month, and I was just like so excited, and I'd be just like, let me take that one and let me take that one. Okay. I mean, I created them. Okay. And they're just thebound.com. And so where I'm at now is like, I experienced running my business from this very, like, all of the content is intuitive. It's out of my heart. Right. And then it was very like, everything is super strategic and very intentional and planned out and mapped out and all of the things. Right. And then we get to combine them and we get the best of both worlds. And it has felt so freeing for me because I felt like the batching and fully structured was actually like, not putting me in a box, but it made me feel, I don't know, prison, jail might feel a little tough for that word, like for that, but I felt like that, right? I knew that I had to come back to my old way, but I also felt this level of like, you can't go back to your old stuff. You're supposed to be scaling and growing. And it was like, no, that's how I work. And what made me understand that even deeper was when I went back to being a little girl, like I thought about being a little girl. I was the cousin who woke up at literally like 6 or 7 a.m. And y'all, I'm talking about single digit age, like 8, 9, 10, and then 11, 12, 13. Like, man, my cousins would want to sleep in until 10, 11, 12. I would already have gotten dressed. I was watching TV. I had watched different shows. I had made breakfast. And then I used to have to come to the TV real close like this. And turn the volume down so I wouldn't wake anybody up. And if we were having a big sleepover, I had to crawl over people, like, walk over people in the living room. And we had all the little, pallets and stuff on the floor, blankets and everything. So I was always this way, right? I got up early. I didn't even start like coffee and stuff. I mean, I still don't actually like need those things every day, but in college I never understood, like everybody would be going, we had Java City, I'm a JMU Duke. We had Java City, but we also had Starbucks on campus, and like, they would need coffee and all that, and I was just like up and at them, like I just wake up with this energy. I would say 80 to 90% of the time, really, truthfully. And I notice as I get older, there are more times where like some days I'm like, okay, I'm a little, especially like Thursday, like Friday we sleep in, but like Thursday really is like, okay, I can tell the day is winding. But that Monday through Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, most of the week is there. But I can tell Thursday, Friday, Saturday is when it's like, whoo, like today right now at the time of this recording, it's actually Sunday morning. I went to get my nails done. My car is telling me that, you've been on for a while. I just want to say that because that helped me so much realize, like, Kira, this is who you've been. Like, I used to wake up so ready to journal and so ready to do things and all the things. So it makes sense now. Like when I wake up, I create my best stuff in the morning, right? My appointment this morning, 10:30 a.m. Like, I create the best things in the morning. I done got laundry done. I done got the whole, Mike smoked a brisket this past weekend, yesterday. And so, that took like, I don't know, 10 hours or something like that. Kitchen needed to be clean for what he was doing with that. So like, I just woke up, I got all the things done. I'm done for today. I just got to go get something from my mother-in-law's house. And that's it. I might go get some Chinese food just for lunch. Or maybe he's probably already made lunch, whatever. My point is, like, I'm a morning person, get everything done, and then I'm done. And so when I started to really sit with, like, how do you operate, right? And so maybe you're a nighttime person, because I have a lot of clients who are evening people, and that's totally fine for you. Whatever your jam is, bring that into, this refinement season is all I want you to get from that point, my love. So refining what showing up means at 6 figures plus is so important. Any healing that you need to do around burnout, anything that you need to think about with your voice, right? We talked about the pressure of performing, feeling like you're always on. That is going to be so important, and you redefining what that looks like for you now, right? Is this truly how you want to be showing up and creating content and allowing your voice and your message to be heard? These are things that you want to reflect on in this refinement season, okay? It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. People are blaming content, the algorithm. No, boo, it's what you're putting in it, which this is what I want you to do. I want you to reconnect, boo. A lot of times when it comes to misaligned content, it's because your voice is out of touch. So if you have my next level message workbook, go to page 14, where you're going to focus on connecting with you. And then page 26 talks about like connecting with your client. You are going to have to connect with those two things, because I see so many people worried about if the content speaks to their ideal client. You also need to worry about if it speaks to you. Okay. You want to be proactive. What we do on Money in the Message is we create transformation tables. We create messaging map, a signature message map, And so what that does, that helps you proactively prepare. It already is built to pre-position your method, your expertise, right? It's elevated, right? It's also built already to pre-qualify exactly who you're talking to, your next level clients, in the most premium, powerful way. And so when you have tools like that, when I talk about that, inspired and that, inspired and intuitive, right? But intentional, strategic, you get to bring the two in, because when I am in my full, like right now, intuitive, like completely inspired space where I'm in my free writing, I have that. But when I have certain tools where I know, right? And this is where I was talking about, like, when I think about the first 300K that I made, 250, 300K I made in my business, right? It wasn't like people thought it was strategy, right? But what people don't understand is they thought the strategy was Kiara sat there and had all her content mapped out and planned out and batched and recorded and all the things. And my clients would get shocked when I told them, no, that's not how I operate. But what I did have, and I didn't understand that this was a thing. I didn't understand that people didn't operate in this way until I was in the room with other women. Like when I would go to in-person retreats and events and stuff like that, like with my coach, and I would be telling them things like I had closed a $5,000 sale, like literally while I was at my coach's retreat. And all of the people that were at the retreat, like they were like, when did you go have a sales call? And I was like, oh, I didn't. We were just DMing. And I was like, I know, I was texting while they were teaching. Ooh, hope they didn't get offended by that. And they were like, wait, that was you texting? That's what was happening? I was like, yeah, it was just in the DMs. I was like, oh, it was off of these posts and this content and this email. My client, actually, she just signed a client from one of her videos, literally no sales call. My point is, when you are doing that inspired content that truly just comes from every part of you, one, you have to be reconnected with you, which is why I want you to go to page 14 and dive deeper into what I talk about there. There is an assessment for you to do inside the Next Level Message Workbook, KiaraJones.com/free messaging workbook. You can go grab it, okay? But here's the next part about this. You also need to have these elements already mapped out for your content. One of the strategies to you refining and doing your content in a way that is going to allow you to have more sustainability is going to be repurposing. And let me know if you need a video on repurposing, right? We actually did a repurposing rotation. We have some resources on that. So if you're in Money in the Message, just go look for them, the repurposing rotation resources, or just access in the group. But this is something I talk about a lot. But here's the thing. Some of y'all are repurposing stuff that didn't work in the first place. So then you're going to repurpose it and then it's just not going to work. You need these sales messaging shifts inside of the content. So we can talk about sitting there creating balance all we want. We can talk about making your process and your workflow better. But if the content ain't working, sis, and this is what I was trying to tell the person in the Facebook group that I was commenting on, you have to understand, is the content working? So what I would encourage you to do is take an assessment of What are you actually strategically putting in the content, right? Does it have the elements that it needs to? How powerfully is it actually speaking to your most aligned client? How powerfully are you communicating the transformation that you help your clients experience through your work? And I'm not talking about it helps them do this, this, and this. Go deeper. What's the next level? What's the elevated version of the transformation you help them experience? Which, like I said, comment live with 𝐂𝐎𝐿 if you want details around my next virtual live event. We're going to literally have time where we're going into this. And if you've ever been to any of my live virtual events, you know that 𝐂𝐿𝐿 actually does real coaching. We do hot seats and all that type of stuff. So comment below if you want the details of the next live event with me. Comment live with 𝐂𝐿𝐿 and we will put the link for you so that you have it, give you the details. Okay. So this is going to be a game changer for you as you really continue to refine your content, because your content, you want it to be working for you, but my love, you want it to be working for you, you want it to be growing for you, but you also want it to be scalable, right? You do want to be repurposing it, but you're going to have to step into a place of refinement. I see too many people go into repurpose first. I have watched too many women go and take stuff like, oh, I'm just going to go put that in my funnel. Oh, I'm just going to go make a YouTube video series about that. Oh, I'm just going to do a podcast series about that. I'm going to do my launch off this. You go do these whole big things and you never refined it. So it actually isn't the elevated version of your transformation. It actually isn't the most premium, powerful problems that your most premium client is ready to pay for right now. It actually isn't the most connected to you. You want to call in next level misaligned clients, but you're not saying and putting out what is the most misaligned and connected with yourself. And then you wonder why the content feels hard and feels draining. So before you say another day that the content is burning you out, you need to actually ask yourself, have I outgrown this content? Because if I've outgrown this content, if I've outgrown this message, if I've outgrown this audience, even a fraction of it, it is seen, it is felt. And then you attract the people that you don't really want to attract, who want to pay the rates that you don't really desire or deserve. Then the cycle continues. But instead over here, we're focusing on shortening sales cycles. We're focusing on continuing to scale our sales without sacrificing not only our sanity, but really without sacrificing the quality of our clients. Because we don't get to do the impactful work that we're here to do when we work with the people that we're not meant to be working with. We don't get to do the work that we're here to do when we put out the message that we're not here to put out. We don't get the message that we're here to put out when we put it out in a way that doesn't feel in alignment with us, because there is something in us that holds back. There's something in us that is not seen and felt and heard. There's something in the people that we're really here to connect with that's not seen, felt, and heard. So they get ignored because we're focusing on other people, when instead focus on the people who truly are here to pay you, are here to receive you, are ready for all of the goodness that you have to offer to them. Your next level clients are ready for you. And if you need some more on that, I have videos on the mindset around your next level client, because my love, they are ready for you. This next level is safe. Your next level of your voice is safe. You're going to have to give yourself permission. I said when I started this video, this was your permission slip. Give yourself permission to step into refinement. Realign the message where it's needed. Let's realign parts of the content from a strategy standpoint, from a messaging standpoint, and from a workflow standpoint, so that you can be creating from the most powerful, embodied, aligned part of you to connect with those next level clients that really desire to work with you now, not later, who won't be saying, I got to follow up with you again and again and again, who won't be wasting your time, not bargainers, not browsers, decision ready buyers, because that's who needs you. And that's how you create your impact. You helping a bunch of people who aren't really ready doesn't help you. It doesn't help you do the work that you're here to do. You don't. Oh, I helped a bunch of people. Great. Now you made half the money that you're supposed to make. So now you got to go figure out, okay, well then I got to go make it in another way. So now I'm desperate. So now I'm bringing on clients just to bring them on just for the money. Instead, you can bring on clients who pay you the rate that you want, and you can have both happening. I do the work that I love with the people that I love in the way that I love, and I get to show up in the way that feels the most aligned for me. That's how you're going to sustain. You will not be able to sustain anything out of alignment. No matter how many months, years, days, whatever time, and you've been doing it, faking it till you make it, boo, it's going to break. It's going to crack. You are going to crack. Give yourself permission for this next level of this refinement era. This is your renaissance, your cowboy kata. Whatever the name of your worldwide tour is, it is yours. So thank you for letting me share my story on my refinement, right? And if you want to hear more on this refinement series, let your girl know. But remember, drop in the comments, live with 𝐂𝐎𝐿, if you want details of my next live event, where I will be working with you on many of the things that I've talked about, going deeper into your next level, transformation, your elevated transformation, right? So that you can be presenting it and pitching it and positioning it more powerfully, right? If you have more that you're charging, if you have higher rates, you just charge, you just upped your rates, or you're about to, you need to elevate how you are communicating your transformation. Your audience done heard it the old way that you've been saying it. And obviously some of them ain't moved the needle, but they still sticking around. They're waiting for you to say it in a different way that really gets them, that clicks. We're going to help you get to the point where you're like, oh, that's how it clicks like that. Here's my credit card. It clicks. When it clicks, now here's my credit card. Here you go. Thank you very much, ma'am. Bye-bye. Let's get started, okay? And it gets to feel so deeply connected to you, to the real you, to the true you today. So my love, stop carrying shame for whoever you feel like you used to be, whatever you feel like you used to do, however you feel like you used to do it. Own where you are now. There is such beauty in where you are now. And the moment I realized this, oh my gosh, the freedom. This was the next layer of freedom for me, for my voice, because anything else made me feel trapped. Trying to do it everybody else's way made me feel trapped. Trying to go back to my old way of doing it made me also feel trapped. I was trapped between who am I becoming and who am I now and who did I used to be, but who do I want to be? It was all like, ugh. And I couldn't see my way out. But the moment I said, my refinement permission, right? My refinement season is here. Permission to pivot. That is a course that we have. Our Money in the Message members is a bonus course. I did a whole program on that because I believe, like, every single time I pivot, I make more money. I get better clients. I get my skin is better. I feel better. All the things. I want that for you. I want that for us. And one thing I said in Money in the Message, in the scaling series, I'm gonna give y'all this nugget. You get to continue to refine every time you need to. And so when you go through the different processes, right, then you learn the process. So I've had clients who go through these processes and literally they're like, here, they don't sit and like shame themselves or story themselves into pity or like keep questioning, because they just step into a space where they just understand, oh, nope, I don't need a spiral. I know exactly what's going on. And now we have a process. So we get to catch it proactively before it's 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. And we get to catch it. Oh, it's been a couple days. Oh, it's been a couple weeks. We get to have that checkpoint. So my love, comment live with 𝐂𝐎𝐿 if you want details about my next live event. I would love to have you there. So comment live with 𝐂𝐎𝐿 so we can get you details. Also, be sure to comment if you want more comment strategy and structure. If you want to see like some other parts of this, like follow-ups to this video where I go deeper into like the structure and the strategy of everything that I talked about here. And then don't forget to go to 𝐂𝐎Rjones.com/free messaging workbook. If you want to grab the workbook, pages 14 will help you connect, like assess where you are in connecting with you. Page 26 will also go into connecting with your ideal client. Plus, there's like an assessment you can do in the beginning of the workbook too on your next level message vision. Be sure to share this video with a biz bestie, a mastermind sister, an accountability buddy who you know is also in her refinement era. And until next time, love, shine, and success. Bye, love.